There's a single tiara sitting in the British royal vault right now that has caused more behind-the-scenes tension than almost any political crisis the monarchy has faced in recent memory. And the reason why will absolutely stun you. We are talking about diamonds, pearls, royal protocol, a very determined princess, and a legacy so powerful that even decades after her death, it is still controlling decisions inside Buckingham Palace. This is the story of the Cambridge lovers, not Tiara, and trust me, by the time we get to the end of this, you will never look at royal jewelry the same way again. Let me set the stage for you. According to reports, Queen Camilla expressed interest in wearing this tiara, one of the most emotionally loaded pieces of jewelry in the entire royal collection. Sounds harmless enough, right? A queen wanting to wear a tiara. Perfectly normal royal behavior. Except here is the thing. This is not just any tiara. This specific piece is perhaps the single most emotionally charged object in the entire British monarchy right now. And apparently Princess Anne was not about to let that slide without a fight. According to sources familiar with the matter, Anne reportedly stepped in and opposed the idea. Now before you ask, no, Princess Anne does not have the formal legal authority to tell anyone what tiara to put on their head. But in a family where unspoken rules often carry more weight than written ones, her influence reportedly stopped this idea cold. And that tells you everything you need to know about just how serious this situation was. So where did this tiara even come from, and why does it carry so much weight? Here is where the history gets genuinely fascinating. The Cambridge Lovers Knot tiara was commissioned back in 1913 by Queen Mary, who asked the prestigious jeweler Garrard to recreate a design that had belonged to her grandmother, Princess Augusta, Duchess of Cambridge. The tiara features 19 hanging pearl drops suspended from delicate diamond arches, and honestly, when you see it in person or in photographs, it is stunning in a way that feels almost impossibly regal. It passed down through the royal family and eventually landed with Queen Elizabeth II, who wore it during the early years of her reign. But here is where the story takes the turn that changes everything. In 1981, following her marriage to the man who is now King Charles III, the tiara was given to Diana, Princess of Wales. And Diana wore it everywhere. State banquets, diplomatic receptions, major royal events. She wore it so often and so memorably that over time the tiara and Diana became, in the public imagination, essentially one and the same thing. There is actually a slightly humorous detail in all of this that I personally love. Diana herself reportedly joked that the tiara gave her headaches because of how heavy it was, and yet she kept wearing it, because she understood something very important. In the royal world, symbols matter more than comfort. She wore a tiara that gave her headaches to attend dinner parties. Honestly, respect. Then came 1997. Diana died in that devastating car crash in Paris, and the tiara disappeared into the royal vault, where it stayed completely unused for nearly 2 decades. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, because that decision to leave it untouched was itself a powerful statement. Putting that tiara on another royal woman too soon would have felt tone-deaf given the scale of global grief following Diana's death. The royal family, whatever criticisms one might have of their handling of Diana's death overall, at least understood that some symbols needed time and space. Fast forward to 2015 and the tiara makes its public comeback. But here is the key detail. It was not placed on just anyone. It was given to Catherine, Princess of Wales, the wife of Prince William. And this choice was deeply intentional. Catherine holds the same title Diana once held. She is the Princess of Wales. So when Catherine stepped out wearing the Lover's Knot tiara, the message was clear and carefully constructed. This is continuity. This is legacy. This is the tiara finding its rightful symbolic home in the next generation. And the public responded exactly as the palace probably hoped they would. Now let us get back to the controversy at the center of all this, because this is where things get genuinely complicated. According to reports, Queen Camilla expressed interest in wearing this tiara. And here is my honest, unfiltered opinion on why this reportedly caused such friction. Camilla already has access to a truly extraordinary collection of historic royal pieces. The Greville Tiara, the Delhi Durbar Tiara. Several sapphire and emerald pieces that would make most museum curators weep with envy. So the question that reportedly swirled within royal circles, and one that I find completely understandable, was simple. Of all the tiaras available to her, why this one specifically? Sources suggest that Princess Anne, who has served the monarchy for decades and witnessed everything from the height of Charles and Diana's marriage to its very painful and very public collapse, viewed any attempt to place the lover's not tiara on Camilla's head as deeply problematic. Not because of personal animosity, at least not officially, but because of what it would symbolically communicate. And in a monarchy that operates as much through symbolism as through law, that distinction matters enormously. Let me explain how royal jewelry actually works, because most people assume there is some simple system in place, and the reality is far more layered. Some pieces are crown property, passing from monarch to monarch as part of the institution itself. Some pieces are personal property owned outright by individual family members. And then there is a third category, which is where the lover's not tiara sits. These are pieces owned by the monarch but loaned to other royals for official occasions. King Charles technically holds final authority over who wears this tiara, but according to sources, these decisions are rarely made through direct orders. They are governed by tradition, family sensitivity, and what one might politely call deeply unspoken understandings, which is a very British way of saying that nobody explicitly says no, but somehow everyone knows what the answer is. If Camilla were to wear the lover's not tiara publicly, the symbolic interpretation from much of the public would likely be immediate and sharp. It could be read as an attempt to reposition or even overwrite Diana's association with the piece. And given that Diana's public image remains extraordinarily powerful even today, that kind of perception risk is not something the palace would take lightly. Princess Anne, according to the narrative, reportedly understood this perfectly. Her opposition was not necessarily about personal grievance. It was reportedly about protecting something the monarchy genuinely cannot afford to damage: public trust, public memory, and the symbolic continuity that keeps the institution relevant in a modern world that increasingly questions whether monarchies should exist at all. Now here is what makes this story even more compelling. In 2025, Catherine returned to major public events after a deeply difficult period. She had publicly revealed a cancer diagnosis in 2024 and had stepped back from royal duties during her treatment. Her return to the international stage at a French state banquet in July 2025, wearing the lover's not tiara, was a moment that generated extraordinary emotional reactions worldwide. It was not just a fashion choice. It was a statement. Later that same year, she wore it again at a state banquet honoring Donald Trump, and photographs from the event circulated globally within hours. I will be honest with you. There is something genuinely moving about watching a symbol that once belonged to Diana find its way back into the spotlight through someone who carries Diana's title and who herself had fought through serious illness to be standing there. Whatever your views on the monarchy as an institution, that is a powerful human moment. And yet Catherine has also been careful not to simply become a Diana replica. She has worn other historic pieces, including Queen Victoria's Oriental circlet, demonstrating clearly that she is constructing her own royal identity. She honors the legacy without being consumed by it. And that balance, frankly, is something the entire royal family is constantly trying and sometimes failing to manage. The broader truth that this entire story reveals is something I find genuinely thought-provoking. The monarchy does not survive on law alone. It does not survive purely on tradition or lineage or protocol. It survives on symbolic meaning, on the stories that objects, titles, and appearances tell the public. A tiara is never just a tiara inside this institution. It is a message. It is a claim about history and continuity and identity. And whoever controls the meaning of that message holds a form of power that no official title can fully capture. That is why a reported conversation about who gets to wear a piece of jewelry reportedly caused enough tension for Princess Anne to step in. Because the stakes, symbolically speaking, are enormous. Looking ahead, the lover's not Tiara's future seems relatively clear for now. Catherine is expected to continue wearing it as Princess of Wales and eventually as Queen when Prince William ascends to the throne. Beyond that, it may pass to the next Princess of Wales, perhaps the future wife of Prince George, or royal traditions may evolve in ways that redirect it elsewhere. Nothing in this family is ever truly settled. What is settled, and what this entire story underscores with remarkable clarity, is that Diana's influence on the British monarchy did not end in 1997. It has not faded with time. If anything, the ongoing sensitivity surrounding objects, titles, and symbols connected to her demonstrates just how permanently she reshaped the institution. The Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara is sitting in that vault right now, carrying decades of history, public emotion, and family tension in every single diamond arch and pearl drop. And somewhere in the palace, people are very carefully thinking about what happens next. Because in this family, a tiara is never just a tiara. It is always a statement. And statements, as we have seen, have consequences.